Today we're going to talk about cleaning our space, right? Cleaning our business. And this is really one of the first things that we do when we get a new company on portfolio. We go in and we clean the space. We get rid of a bunch of the stuff that they just don't need, things that they've been accumulating that they'll never use. If you're cringing right now, you're probably the one that stores a lot of that stuff, you know. And so we go in, we get rid of that stuff. In a lot of cases, cleaning isn't just cleaning; it's about performing inventory, moving the shop around so that it makes more sense, painting things, new logos, new signs, you know, whatever that would be. But we ultimately want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and clean. You shouldn't worry about leaning against a wall or worry about where something is. And so we're going to get into just some best practices that we use here. And so you will work more closely with your coach. And so in that, in one of your first calls, you would have already sent photos and videos to your coach of your facility. You should have already done a virtual walkthrough with them, and they will already be on the path to doing this. If you're not on portfolio, that's normally our plan, is that we work directly with the client to make sure that we kind of understand it. And if you're in our geographic location, then somebody in the first 30 days has already done a site visit for you. And they've pointed out all of this stuff. And so ultimately, the reason that we do it, right, it boosts productivity. And so people say by up to 20%. I don't know, man. I think it's actually more than that. And the reason that I think that is because I can't tell you how many shops that I have been to through the years where somebody is supposed to put a tool back in a specific place, that it's kind of like supposed to go there, but nobody's ever trained and held accountable to do it. And somebody else is walking back and forth all day long looking for that tool. It's a mess, and it's all the time. And it's just about every single shop that I walk into, especially for the first time. It improves health. Health is obviously paramount, right? And most of us, plumbing, electrical, mechanics, HVAC, all of this, a lot of the stuff that we're breathing in, it's not good for us in general. And so if you've got all of that dust and crap, we're just kind of like compiling a much larger problem or adding on to it. And so it enhances our image. In a lot of cases, our auto repair shops, one of our procedures is to walk customers out into the shop to show them a vehicle or show them an issue on their vehicle. So aside from just photos or videos or something that we'll use for digital vehicle inspections, we'll walk somebody out into the shop. We don't want it to look like a disaster. It's not good for us. We spend all of this time and energy and money on all of this stuff that we're doing to make sure that we have this professional image. Last thing we want is to be disgusting too, or have somebody have the image of being disgusting. Sorry, let me reformat this real quick. And then tips for cleaning and organizing your space. I think I've backed these up. So if you don't know how to use Google Docs, this is an easy way to get your menu right on the side here. It's just with your headings, with your title, which I think I clearly did this one wrong. There's me 2 seconds here. And if you haven't understood yet, we don't edit any of these videos. We just record them and let them fly. We don't want people to think that we're AI or something like that. And so the next thing is, right, when to throw things away. If we haven't used them in 6 months, get rid of it. If it's something big and maybe it's a one-time thing that you might use later on, or it's if you're an auto repair shop and it's a harness, or you're a HVAC company and you've got some kind of like condenser or something like that, or electronic parts that you may be able to reuse, then maybe. But in any event, if you haven't used it in 6 months, and when I say reuse something, and a lot of times we'll reuse things just for testing. Hey, I think this part is bad. I have another capacitor that I can reuse, and try to make it work. And then ultimately we would get a real one, a new one. So I don't mean to reuse parts, but in any event, broken items, things that, that can't be repaired, get rid of it. Stop saving it. It's just taking up room and people hate walking around it. And then a lot of things that are like duplicated, right? We had a business one time that we bought. They had so many duplicates and like extra stuff that they, one of the first issues that they had was cash flow. And so we went just on Facebook Marketplace and we sold off a whole bunch of stuff. They made somewhere around like $7,500 the first week. And we were able to buy a piece of equipment that they needed. And then that piece of equipment allowed us to later on resell a service for right around $30,000. True story. It's crazy. Perform inventory. Man, in most cases with any of these businesses, we sell parts and we sell materials. If we're not tracking parts, then we've got a major problem. If we're not tracking time, then we've got a major problem. And so this month already, week 1, you started managing your time better and auditing your time and making sure that you're billing for all time. This is a way that we make sure that we can bill for all inventory. right? Because we don't want materials just walking off the shelf. And if they are, then there needs to be a plan in place where we're somehow, charging for them, right? Guys are stocking vehicles. We need to know what's in there, why it's in there, and so don't just inventory the shop, inventory the vehicles too, and label everything. Every single thing in your building should have labels on it. This is a door, right? Marked by an exit sign. These are light switches. This turns on, bay 1, bay 2, whatever it would be. Everything, right? All the way down to screws, nuts, bolts, fuses, relay, anything. Everything and anything needs to get labeled. And so this doesn't mean that everybody has to label everything. You find that one crazy person in your business that is insanely OCD about everything, and you give them a label maker and tell them to go nuts. And this isn't something that needs to be done in one day. It's always a work in progress, but labeling things always goes hand in hand with inventory. Every time we do inventory, we want to make sure that everything is still labeled correctly. And if it's not, then, we just go ahead and fix it. And obviously, we back everything up that we talk about with stats, and you've got some more of that stuff down here. So if you're having trouble implementing this, please reach out to your coach. If you don't understand it, reach out to your coach. They'll be happy to help you. And if you don't have a coach and you're interested in learning more about how we can help you, we can. Just go to lotuspe.us and we'll get you in touch with somebody. All right, we'll talk to you soon.